During my gap year before medical school, I became dangerously obsessed with playing chess, reading chess theory, watching every online chess lecture 10 hours a day, 7 days a week. For months on end, I'd sleep at 6 AM, miss my meals to get my chess ranking up. It was a pure and utter addiction with becoming a grandmaster, driven by my out-of-control ADHD. When people tell you that ADHDers can't focus for long periods of time, it's total nonsense. We definitely can. I got in over 2,000 hours of deliberate practice on chess in a year and got my ranking from being a total beginner to 1600. The difference was I was focusing on something I really wanted to do. With ADHD though, it's so easy to jump from one addiction to the next. It was chess when I was 18, but Call of Duty during my sixth form studies and old school RuneScape during high school. There's just no way I could have gotten through medical school and become a doctor if I didn't quit playing chess and online video games. To level up in my university studies with ADHD, I needed to let go of my online gaming and chess addiction. I needed to overcome what my ADHD made so easy. In this video, I'm going to show you how I got over my addiction and how you can too. The first thing I started doing was establishing a criteria for each day. When I was spending an excessive time playing video games and chess, it was when I was feeling a bit lost with my life and lacked perspective and direction. When I started medical school, I had a new passion with a new set of demands on me. I had to find the perspective. I was forced to be intentional with my time, and there was simply no time for video games. With ADHD, engaging our executive function to get going with studying is impossibly hard, but it's far easier to focus when you have no choice. Anxiety then becomes the motivator rather than executive function, which is sadly what I've had to rely on. I cut out video games entirely. It just wasn't aligning with my life goals. With my ADHD, it's impossible for me to stick with a hardcore timetable. I just don't like rigid constraints on my life, and that's why I won't stick with it. I much prefer intentionally setting a criteria for each day the first thing in the morning or the night before. That way, I know the 3 things I need to achieve to sleep happy. I might only achieve 2 of these, but that's better than setting myself 10 things to do and not achieving any of them. It can be impossibly hard to have the perspective to look at your gaming addiction as detrimental, but by taking a step back and really asking yourself if you're spending your time in a way that will help you achieve your goals, it will help you reconfigure your addiction. It might not come to you instantly, but if you start this thinking process, it'll eventually come to you. The next thing I started doing was setting defined limits for my gaming. I really believe in the power of out of sight, out of mind. Willpower is so limited, especially after a day of hardcore medical lectures. It was so easy for me to go right into playing chess and not be able to stop myself. So I had to stop relying on my willpower. I needed to make it harder to fall back into this detrimental addiction. Funnily enough, the single best thing that has helped me get over my addiction was my dad breaking my PlayStation. I also took the big step to entirely delete chess.com from my phone, so I was only able to play chess on my laptop, which is harder and less sticky. At high school, I told all my friends I was going AFK from old school RuneScape, so I knew I'd have time to focus on my school assignments and prepare for my exams. By making it harder for you to actually engage in video games, it's easier to take control back from them. I was trying to level up in chess, but not actually leveling up in real life. I set myself only an hour a day to play chess, and I did this by having a physical timer that only allowed me to play it for that time. I slowly learned to prioritize my medical studies over chess and got over my addiction. And this leads me on to my next strategy: use the one more technique. When I was hyper-focused on my chess games, I'd continually tell myself one more game, only to lose and then want to recover my ranking. It was a vicious cycle that meant I was forced to keep playing without sleeping or feeding myself. Looking back, it was essentially gambling. I didn't want to end on a negative ranking. Similarly with my PS5, it's so easy to play one more game of UFC or Call of Duty, but then I end up playing all night. Once I recognized this trigger, I came up with and started implementing the one more technique. I'd preset how many games of chess I'll play, or how many games of UFC or Call of Duty before actually starting playing. That way, it's mentally far easier for me to stop playing and feel satisfied rather than being forced to play one more game. Try to be as specific as possible with the rounds, levels, or tasks you've given yourself and stick with it. Sometimes time limits don't work nearly as well with ADHD as a specific round or game limit. The next strategy that helped me get over my gaming addiction is finding balance with a reward system. The experience of playing video games before you've done your studying is a totally different one to when you're done with your university work and can actually enjoy it. A great way to get over your gaming addiction is to actually see gaming as a reward from your university studies. It's important to develop a reward system to reward your focus and hard work. I've talked about being intentional with everything in your day, but it's so important to find balance and reward yourself along the way. This is something that doesn't come natural to me, but allowing myself time to play PlayStation or chess only after I'd done my university work definitely helped me manage my game time and get over my addiction. Delaying gratification is the key to success with ADHD and generally in life, and so try to associate your game time with a reward system to help you get over your addiction. And this leads me onto my final strategy to get over your gaming addiction: exploring other interests. The ADHD experience is such a typical one. We get sucked into one hobby, do it non-stop until we get exhausted with it and are forced to change our focus to something else. Whilst this can be detrimental, it's also actually a good thing. Nothing really took me away from gaming as much as the fact that I moved away from it myself. I found new hobbies and decided to replace my gaming addiction with exploring other, more healthy hobbies like going to the gym, long distance running and cycling. When I was utterly addicted to gaming, I was too busy trying to level up in chess or Call of Duty that I wasn't actually leveling up in real life. It wasn't until I changed my hobbies to align them with my goals that I was able to get over my gaming addiction and actually spend time meaningfully. Try to replace your gaming addiction with a productive hobby, one that you can actually work on that will help you see improvements with your physical health, your mental health, and your studies. The World Health Organization recently declared gaming disorder as an official, globally recognized illness. Unlike other addictions though, gaming disorder has only existed for under 50 years, so we don't really know its long-term impact, especially on people with ADHD. These are the 5 strategies that helped me win my life back from my gaming addiction. If you benefited from this video, then I think you'll definitely enjoy watching this video next on the 5 shocking facts that nobody knows about ADHD. Catch you soon.